One of my favorite perks of several premium credit cards is their global entry and TSA Precheck statement credit. This means that you get those two airport security perks for free. Hey, I'm Leen with Leen on Travel, and you might be wondering what exactly global entry is and what credit cards provide statement credits to get it for free. So, global entry gives you pre approval for re entering very quickly into the United States. TSA Precheck is the exact same thing, but for domestic US flights. No more standing in ridiculously long at TSA and customs security lines for 5 years if you redeem this free credit card perk. There are dozens of credit cards that provide free global entry and/or TSA PreCheck statement credits every 4 years. Those cards include the Capital One Venture and Venture X, Southwest Business Performance, Chase Sapphire Reserve, American Express Personal and Platinum Business cards, the Citi American Airlines Executive, United Explorer and Club Infinite, the Delta Platinum and Reserve, Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant, and honestly, dozens more cards, which you'll find linked in the video's description. The reason that I learned about the global entry was because the Capital One Venture X comes with a $120 statement credit for global entry and TSA PreCheck every 4 years. I had already gotten TSA PreCheck from my Southwest Business Performance card a year ago, and I realized that if I would have opted for global entry with them, it would have also included TSA PreCheck. I didn't have any international travel plan then, and I knew it was much more complicated and lengthy of an application process going through global entry. So honestly, only TSA PreCheck was on my mind. But for the rest of you, know that even though the process for getting global entry is a bit more cumbersome than the TSA PreCheck, if you go through the hassle for global entry, you actually get TSA PreCheck included with that global entry approval. So it's two for the hassle of one. Okay, so speaking of the hassle, here's what you should know about getting global entry. You first need to complete a lengthy application online and pay the $120 fee with a credit card that does provide the free statement credit. The application takes 20 to 30 minutes and includes things like all the places you've lived and jobs you've held in the past 5 years. You'll have to wait 2 to 14 days to receive conditional approval, which means once you get that, you can then schedule your interview. Before you start the application, I recommend you look up the global entry enrollment centers to make sure that there is one near you. Otherwise, once it comes times for you to interview, you might have to travel a few hours to the closest enrollment center. A link to where all the enrollment centers are is linked in my video's description. But depending on where you live, it might take a few months to get your interview date. And then your interview could still be another couple of months out after you get that date set up. This right here is why I opted to get TSA PreCheck first. I wanted to bypass TSA security lines ASAP. I was on a mission to get an interview, so I usually check the interview portal 2 to 4 times a day for about 2 weeks before I scored one interview. I needed 3 for my family, so another week went by before I got another, and then a day after that, I nabbed my last interview at my local airport. The interview itself was just 15 minutes. He just asked me things like my maiden name, why I wanted global entry, and where I plan to go with it. Within an hour after my interview, I received notification that my application was approved, and I received the official global entry card in the mail in about 2 weeks. Now, my daughter's application, her status never changed after her interview. So when my husband went in for his, he brought her documents, and with the click of a button by the agent, she finally received her official approval as well. So definitely contact them if yours doesn't make it out of conditional approval status within a day or two of your interview. Also, know that if you are still in conditional approval by the time of your overseas trip, you can ask for an interview upon arrival back into the United States. Fellow travel hackers have reported doing this, that it takes only 15 to 30 minutes of waiting in order to get that interview. Also, know that while the whole process still needs to be done for your kids, including application and interview, you do not have to pay the $120 fee for them. Kids under 18 are free if you're also getting or have global entry. I've gone through security and customs coming back from South Korea at O'Hare in Chicago once. And honestly, if I can bypass that 90-minute wait just once, it is so worth the hassle of getting global entry free for 5 years. I hope that helps. And if you're ready to open a credit card like a Capital One Venture, Venture X to get global entry for free as well, I'd be ever so grateful if you'd apply using my referral link. Then, of course, like and subscribe to keep learning on how to travel for free with Leen on Travel.